Haha. Hello guys and welcome back. My name is Patrick. This is Patchworks. If you haven't seen our previous video, go ahead and check out the link below where we were attempting, half-assed a little bit, to have the most powerful Triumph Scrambler 1200 in the world. A little bit of tuning, a little bit of very minor aftermarket parts, and we were able to get some pretty solid extra horsepower from stock. So go ahead and watch that video after this. But at the end of that video, we revealed the new series we're starting. We are starting the road to the fastest Vespa Primavera. This is my 2022 Vespa Primavera 150. It is 150 cc's. Right now, in terms of performance, it's all bone stock. It had one oil change. Probably should have had a few more over the course of the past 3 years I've owned it. It sat for about a year. Both tires got a hole in them. I plugged them and refilled them just so I can move around the shop, but you really shouldn't be driving on a plugged tire on a motorcycle or scooter when you only have two wheels. You can't really risk it. To start this series, we are going to be throwing new tires on and getting a stock feel for how the Vespa runs, stock shocks, brakes, tires, the whole engine, the whole 9 yards. Our goal is the fastest Vespa Primavera. I've always had this dream of turboing this thing. This thing is so much fun as is. I didn't realize how much I'd like it. I really like just the aesthetic of it. A lot of scooters look a little goofy and they can almost look a little steampunkish, some of those ruckuses and stuff like that. But you can wear a suit and tie and ride this thing to work and no one would bat an eye. But I really like the look of it. I think it's a really clean look, except for this little scratch. Not dented, but I did drop it at like 1 mile an hour. I didn't take the chain lock off, so there's a little scratch here. We'll see what we can do about that a little bit later in this series. So to start off, we're going to be changing the tires. Front and rear, I have Michelin Grip City 2s. They say it's like #1 recommended ones. We have a whole bunch of performance parts we're going to be putting on. We're going to be putting on performance shocks, brake pads and rotors, CVT upgrade, big bore kit, nitrous kit. I found a nitrous kit, and then eventually the hardest part is going to be trying to turbo this thing. I don't know if we're actually going to be able to. That is most likely to end up blowing up this engine, so that will be last. So be sure to hit subscribe right now if you guys want to watch me potentially blow this little engine up right between my legs. So let's get started and change these tires. Should be quick. If you guys have seen any of my mechanic stuff before, I always mess it up about 10 times before I actually figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. So let's get to it, I guess. So to start off with, we are going to be removing this front tire. Seems to be a little bit easier. Alright, that was alarmingly loose. We'll see what the torque setting is supposed to be on this. And I'm going to change this tire, throw it back on before we get started on the back. At this point, with removing these tires, I really should be just doing the brakes and other stuff that I have planned, but this is going to be a multi-part series, Road to the Fastest Vespa Primavera, and I need multiple videos, and I've ordered parts. I need time to come to terms with spending all that money. So be sure to like and share this video if you guys are interested to see just how fast we can get this thing going. And we'll see when we take it out on the road a little bit later. Stock, this thing says it goes about 65 miles an hour. And maybe with the wind at your back going downhill, you might be able to get 70 out of it. I think I've seen the Speedo say 70 before. That being said, these Speedos are known to be a few miles off, if I'm not mistaken. I believe there is a part we can order to get that more accurate, and you guys can let me know in the comments below. Let me know what performance parts you guys want to see in this build. So I already have the shocks and front brake rotor ordered, so we can't do anything on that. They're out of the Malosi's everywhere. So it's not Bilstein, but something with a B. I'll put it below exactly what we ordered. In terms of the Vespa market, Vespa Primavera at least, Malosi's seems to really hold the key to any performance parts for the Vespa Primaveras. The big bore kit is a Malosi kit. Malosi has an aftermarket exhaust. Akrapovich, I believe is how you say it, also has an aftermarket exhaust. The issue with this is that this thing is fuel injected. You have to get it tuned. I can't just like jet it up or anything like that to make it run richer for all these things I'm going to be doing. So I think I'm kind of stuck to using Malossi, the Malossi cylinder kit, as well as the exhaust. I'm going to be doing a Malossi high flow filter, probably Malossi CVT, but you guys let me know if you know of any other parts that you've seen or that you think are better. Still trying to figure out what weight for the bearings for the CVT I want to put in. I think just in terms of practicality and fun, faster acceleration is more fun on a scooter like this. You're not gonna be doing 90. I mean, maybe we might be able to get this thing, you know, the big bore kit says it gets it up to 80 with all the other stuff we're gonna be doing. We might be able to push that a little bit more. But I think fast acceleration on these small scooters is a whole lot more fun than necessarily top speed. You know what I mean? You guys let me know in the comments below. Now it's time to see if we can break this bead and change the tire. So I just released all the pressure. I'm nervous to use the metal bar because I don't want to mar the surface, but I might have to. I don't think I broke the bead. Goodness gracious. Now, this is more of a trim accessory right here, but I'm nervous about scratching these rims up as I butcher this whole process. One thing Robot suggests from Vespa Motorsports, from Scooter West, is just cutting. Now I really hope the ones that I got work. We're gonna be using tire beads in this thing, and maybe once we do a little bit more improvement to it, we might actually go and get it balanced like that. From what I've seen, the tire beads for the speeds that we're gonna be doing are gonna be fine. Well guys, listen, that escalated quickly, but we're gonna take these tires to get changed at a tire shop around the corner. Unfortunately, in order to get the back tire off, I have to take the exhaust off, which I could get off. I don't know if I'm going to be able to properly secure that back on, but we'll find out. 24 maybe? Hey, that's it. I apologize guys, there's no good way for me to show this. I think we got it there. Whew. Alright, I'm gonna bring both these, the tires, the new valves, and the beads to the tire shop, see if they'll change them. This is just super time consuming. You just gotta like, they're so staticky. This right here is like an anti-static funnel because of the pewty powder. You don't want that to get staticky. I'm just gonna fill this up. I'm gonna throw the wheels back on. You guys don't need to see me do that again. The torque setting for the rear wheel is 80 foot-pounds, guys. I'll throw up what the torque setting is for the front nuts as well. We got tools to do that. And I'll see you guys, not tomorrow because it's gonna be raining, but I'll see you guys, today's Tuesday, I'll see you guys Thursday in about 2 seconds, where we'll be all hooked up and ready to go, take this thing out on the road. And I can tell you guys exactly how it's running right now, and some of the areas we're gonna be addressing with all those modifications coming up. See you guys in a sec. Hello, hello. Nice to see you there. So there've been some updates. I will have had to disassemble this rear wheel at least 3 times. And I'm gonna show you guys exactly why, but upon further research, and by further research, I mean actually watching the video I was following all the way through instead of just like skipping to the parts I thought I needed, I realized that from the dealer, we are missing some washers that are necessary for the safe function of this Vespa here. And there were 2 on the outside. The cotter pin, I think I had mentioned, had fallen off, which meant this little cap that goes on the end would have fallen off too. That makes sense. That could have happened. It could have just rusted and fallen off. Totally possible. But the flat washer behind the actual retaining nut of the wheel was not present. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to disassemble it and I'll show you guys in just a sec. If I'm not mistaken, the spacer behind the wheel, which spaces the wheel from the drum brake, was also not there. I'm not sure, I'll double check and I'll show you guys up close. but I don't think that was there. And guys, this is the first time I took these wheels off. They'd never been replaced before, so that means it would have had to be either from the factory or from the dealer, which is just a little concerning. More than a little concerning. I'm gonna take off this exhaust for the umpteenth time. That's a pain in the butt to get off, especially from the floor. But let's get to it. Okay, well, listen guys, I'll bring you in. This spacer right there is what I was concerned was not there. It is. But, thank you Robot from Scooter West, Vespa Motorsports, out in sunny California. That is necessary for the proper function of these drum brakes. So, that's good, that is there. But I'll set you guys up and I'll show you what wasn't present and is still kind of concerning. This washer, which sits directly behind and greatly increases the surface area in which this applies pressure, was not there. It just wasn't there, it wasn't on, which is really kind of scary. This nut clearly will hold the wheel on, at least for what we were doing, but we're gonna be doing some crazy things with this Vespa, and safety has to be first. Two-wheeled vehicles are inherently more dangerous than four-wheeled vehicles, and with all the stuff that I'm going to be doing to this Vespa, safety has to be a priority. Obviously, we're going to be taking some risks. Guys, I am not a professional, as you can see by how this all went. I'm not a mechanic in any way. I do have a wife and daughter at home, and making sure I get home alive has to be number one priority. So I found myself rushing yesterday to try to get it done in the time frame that I had set in my head, and I missed things and things went wrong. So for the rest of this video and the rest of this journey, I'm going to be maybe sacrificing some of the speed at which I'd like to get this done for making sure I take my time and actually do these things correctly and safely. So let's put this all back together and then we can take it out on the road. This is the other piece that was missing. So there's this locking nut that kind of sits there. It's not really a locking nut at all, actually. It's a spacer. And there's a cotter pin that goes in into this hole somewhere. And there's a cotter pin that goes right there. Now, both the cotter pin and this nut were missing. There's a very good chance that this cotter pin could have just rusted out, and then there's nothing actually holding this nut back. But what all of this prevents is from that nut backing out enough to where it can fall off the rim or off the spines. Now, it could still potentially move a little bit, but not enough for it to be dangerous. You'd probably hear and feel the vibrations well before it actually gave out. Now listen, that doesn't look nearly as professional as Robots over at Vespa Motorsports, but this thing's not going anywhere. I'm much more confident in this. Last thing to do, put the muffler back on. And to talk about more escapades that happened off camera last night, guys, if there's a drain in the middle of your shop, you should probably cover it if you're going to be trying to remove or attach bolts directly above it, because one of the exhaust manifold bolts fell down this drain that's in the center of my floor here, and I had to shop vac and then magnet it out. That took about an hour. And that's fine. It is back together and in record time. Turns out when you do it 3 times, you generally get better. We'll see when I have to take it apart next week to put new brake pads on, if that's true. But everything happens for a reason, you guys. Because of all the back and forth, I actually took a second to look closer at how it's supposed to go together and realized some potentially dangerous things going on with it, as well as I realized that my registration and insurance had expired, so I was able to reinsure it and register it so that I will be able to legally drive it on the road. I'm gonna go take it for a spin around the block, but I'll see you guys tomorrow with the whole camera rig set up. We'll take it for a ride around the reservoir, and I'll tell you guys exactly how it feels, what I like, what I don't like, what we're gonna be doing to help change that. Catch you tomorrow. And we are off, guys. So it is significantly colder today, which is part of the reason I'm in full gear. The other part is, as you can tell from me trying to put this thing back together, I'm not too confident in my technical abilities. But we are going to do just a quick lap around the lake here and just kind of go for the base of how this Vespa Primavera 150 is. Now, I love the Vespa. It's a little corny, I know, but it's so much fun to ride. Every time I hop on it after a long time of riding, I'm like, oh yeah, I really enjoy this. I'm gonna pull off to the side here. I'm gonna put the GoPro down a little, and we're gonna get a quick 0 to 60, or not so quick 0 to 60, just to kind of see baseline where we are at. And I hope I can get 60 before it turns, but that is maybe not possible. And I'll time this after. 1, 2, 3, go. Duck down. So I don't think it's going to be too hard for us to beat that acceleration after we start doing some of these mods. To start off with, guys, we're going to be doing the suspension and the brakes. The first thing I want to do before doing anything crazy to this Vespa is better suspension to make sure I stay on the ground, and better brakes to make sure that I can actually stop. The stock brakes, nothing to write home about, but not too appalling. It's a disc brake in the front and a drum brake in the back, which obviously is not great. But the stock suspension is pretty atrocious. Now, I've hit some larger potholes driving through the city, doing like maybe 30, 40 miles an hour, and it was... and I'm surprised I didn't bend a rim, honestly. It was pretty, it doesn't take those bumps too well. So we ordered the Malossi brake kit, front discs, as well as pads, and I ordered the Malossi drum brakes as well. And then we have Vitubo, I believe it is, shocks, Vitubo. I'll put it below if I said that wrong or not saying it. But they make performance shocks for the Vespa, which are apparently pretty phenomenal. Now, with all that being said, if you guys are city commuters and you don't need to hop on the highway, this Vespa is awesome. Now, it's about twice the price of your average similar engine-sized scooter, but you get a few more things with it, and really the main thing is just aesthetically. I mean, you can hop on this thing with a button down and tie on and not look ridiculous. You know, it's a little goofy just because it's a Vespa, but if you worked in an office, I don't think anyone would roll their eyes or talk to each other about you bringing a scooter to work, as opposed to if you were to hop on something like a Ruckus or something along those lines. Nothing against those whatsoever, but they just don't have they don't have the same level of class that a Vespa has. And to be quite honest, guys, I just love the aesthetic of the Vespa. And so the Vespa has 12-inch rims on it, which are super small. But what that means is this thing is like super maneuverable. I mean, you can really like tuck this thing in and make some pretty sharp turns. It's a little nerve-wracking, you know, going from a motorcycle. My Triumph Scrambler 1200X has a really large front tire, and it's a lot smoother of a transition in turns. And going from that and hopping onto this, it's like, oh, I gotta pull back a little bit because I almost took that turn way too tight. But this has a considerable get up and go. And again, if you're not trying to get to 60, the 0 to 50 is actually pretty good. And that's really all you're going to be doing in urban kind of driving, even suburban driving, if you don't have to hop on the highway. But you guys let me know. I think, and with starting this project, I'm trying to figure out what would be more fun and more usable in terms of speed, top speed, or acceleration for the Vespa. Now, the goal with this whole project is making the fastest Vespa Primavera in the world, but there are two ways you can interpret that. You can interpret that as bare top speed or acceleration. Now, if we do acceleration, it would be fastest 0 to 60, and I'm leaning more towards acceleration simply because it's usable. Anything over 60 with these small tires, it's so sketchy. As I was saying, those small tires make it super easily maneuverable, but that also means that it's not like super steady at high speeds, which can be a little sketchy, especially if we're trying to put this thing, if we're trying to get this thing over 80 miles an hour. Going over these bumps and stuff, guys, I'm like, oh, there's something wrong with my tire? Because you can feel every single one of those. You can feel every single one of those little tar snakes right there. And it's just a smaller vehicle, you know, smaller suspension. We're not going to get rid of all of that, but I think we can improve it dramatically. So back to top speed or acceleration, there's a few different ways we can go about doing it. So this has a CVT transmission, and you can add, I already ordered the Performance CVT transmission from Malossi, which we'll be putting on after the brakes and suspension. And there's different roller weights you can calibrate to either help you with acceleration or help you with top speed. Along with that is the secondary gear. The secondary or overdrive gear, there's either a 15 by 41 or 16 by 42. The 15 by 41, faster acceleration. The 16 by 42 is faster top speed. And you can mess with the weights in the CVT to make that acceleration quicker when you go to that higher tooth count, but I'm not sure I'd ever need or want to get this thing over 80 miles per hour. And so you guys let me know in the comments, what do you think I should go for? Should I try to get the fastest 0 to 60, or should I just try to get the fastest Vespa Primavera in terms of top speed? Because we can go either way with it. We're going to be doing the big bore kit either way. We're going to be doing advanced CVT. We're going to be adding the secondary gear, the performance secondary gear either way, just because it's all a little bit stronger and should hold up a whole lot better to how we're going to be pushing this thing. But it really is funny. I took it out yesterday just around the pond by my house really quick, few laps, and immediately put a smile on my face. So honestly, more so than the motorcycle, and that makes sense because last time with my last motorcycle, I sold the motorcycle before I sold the Vespa, and I was living in a city, so I wasn't really doing highways too much, but this thing is just so much fun. If you guys know of any other performance things we can do to this Vespa, let me know in the comments below. This is our new series again. We're going to be making a few videos, more than a few videos, probably over the next few months, about getting this Vespa as fast as we can. Again, let me know if you want quick or fast. We could always do both. You know, it is, I don't know how much of a pain in the butt it is to change out that secondary gear, but the CVT weights is relatively cut and dry. Let me get out of the way of this guy over here. But you guys can let me know. You know, again, I think practically speaking, acceleration is just more fun. I don't know about you guys, but let me get back on the road here. Now, I don't know about you guys, but speed for me is not necessarily as fun as the acceleration. On my motorcycle and my car, again, I'm not that big of a risk taker. I don't, in terms of my physical well-being, I don't like going 100 miles an hour, stuff like that. I have a family at home I want to get back home to. But accelerating to like 60 or 80 as fast as I can is really fun. And doing, you know, using this Vespa where I would be using it, that top speed is going to be almost never used. Maybe we'll take this thing to a track one day and see what we can do to it. When it's all said and done, I'm definitely going to be reaching out and trying to throw this thing on a dyno. So if you guys know any tuners in the Connecticut area, I'm in central Connecticut, but I mean anything in Connecticut or southern Mass, I'm willing to head to. If you guys know of anyone willing to throw this thing on a dyno once we've finished it up. But so let's head back home right now and finish this video up, let you guys know what we got planned next. It's good looking scooter, guys. Everyone's staring at me so hard, so much harder with the cameras on the Vespa than they were with the cameras on the motorcycle. Well, listen, that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this content, it means a lot if you press like, share this video, trying to get this out into the algorithm. Even if you don't have anyone to share this video with, if you just press share and copy link, it counts as a share, helps me get out there into the ether on YouTube. We're really trying to do some crazy things to this Vespa here, and I think you guys are really gonna enjoy it. I know I'm super excited about it. Thank you again for watching this far. If you have any idea in terms of what you think I should do with this Vespa, let me know in the comments below. If you have products you think I should check out and maybe throw on this thing, see how it goes, let me know in the comments below as well. And I'll catch you guys in the next video where we're throwing some performance shocks and brakes on this thing, and then it's only crazier and crazier stuff after that. I'll see you then.